This whole sequence of videos is about enabling a better tomorrow by developing more intelligent approaches to dealing with situations so that we in fact actually address the situation in the way that we would like to, and minimize the potential of unintended consequences, and avoid shooting ourselves in the foot, which seems to be very much our habit. In this particular module, I want to talk about how we go about defining the situation itself. So that the idea is that we're going to actually break this up into several pieces, as was presented on the intervention video, where we're going to talk about the situation and understanding and strategy as separate pieces. So in this piece, we need to identify the situation, though we need to identify the situation in such a way that we are not, in fact, making a lot of assumptions. We're trying to identify the situation in terms of what the situation really is, without potentially trying to say that this is what the cause of that situation is, and without any possibility of defining what we think the solution to the situation is. I want to define the situation the way a camera would take a picture. It's the situation, period. It's not a lot of assumptions about that situation. It's just the reality of it. So that rather than say that sales are down because of this or that or whatever, sales are currently at such and such a value, and that is in fact unacceptable, and we can talk about why it's unacceptable, though I'm not making assumptions as to what has caused it to be the way it is. Now, once I identify the situation itself, it is in fact important to go ahead and identify the trends over time or certain aspects of that situation, how things have changed leading up to the situation being the way it is at the moment. There are times, or very often when we look at situations, because we spend most of our time involved in other things, when the situation gets to a point where it captures our attention, we think of it as an event, and it's not really an event. It has in fact evolved. Something has evolved over time, and it's appropriate to understand that evolution over time, though that evolution over time is not what's responsible for the situation being the way it is. It is simply the states that situation existed in over some period of time. And this link will take you to a video, or to a model that presents a video that goes into developing those trends in a lot more detail, in the same way that this link will take you to a model that goes into the aspects of assumptions in a lot more detail. So we identify the situation in the way that a camera would take a picture of the situation. It's reality in your face, and we develop an awareness of how it has evolved over time. It's also appropriate to propose what we believe would be the implications of not doing anything. The reason for doing this is that it helps provide us with an impetus for actually taking action with regard to this situation. If the situation is such that at the moment we believe that we should attend to it, what's it likely to be in a week or a month or a year if we in fact don't do anything about it? And additionally, what's really important is to describe an ideal alternative to the current situation. Though, one more time, going back to what I said, is we don't want to just make the situation go away and go back to whatever it was, because we then end up investing a lot of opportunity, I mean a lot of effort, and we don't actually accomplish anything. We're back to where we started from. The idea is that if I could in fact design this whole thing all over again, this comes from Russell Ackoff's idealized design, where one imagines that the everything associated with the situation blew up last night, and this morning you in fact have the opportunity to completely redesign today from scratch. Now, not a redesign which requires evolution technology. It's a redesign of today based upon what is technologically feasible and resource feasible. What it does is, by defining this, it provides a focus for one to work towards, to strive to accomplish, though probably not possible to actually accomplish it. So we define these three aspects in addition to the situation itself to help us move forward in the next stages of understanding and finally developing a strategy. And in addition to this, it's important to realize that different people may in fact have very different perspectives on what the situation is, what the trends are, the implications, and what the ideal alternative is. And rather than argue with people about what they are, one should in fact capture those multiple perspectives, because each of those perspectives in fact has a basis for its existence. And generally what we find is, out of those multiple perspectives, we in fact end up with a much better perspective on all four of these dimensions than we would if we only had one to start with. So this is some initial thoughts on developing the situation dimension of this puzzle, and in the next piece we'll go on to talk about how the understanding of the basis for this situation, the interactions responsible for it, actually came about. So see you in the next video. Bye.